There's a moment that happens to almost everyone with debt. You're sitting at your job, staring at your computer screen, and you think about quitting. Maybe your boss just humiliated you in a meeting. Maybe you're exhausted from months of overtime. Maybe you just realized you've been doing work you hate for years. And then, right as that thought forms, another one crushes it. I can't. I have loans, the car payment, the student loans, the mortgage, the credit cards. And just like that, the idea of leaving dies. Not because you don't want to, but because you can't afford to. That's the moment you realize loans don't just cost you money, they cost you freedom. They cost you choices. They cost you the ability to say no. And here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't understand. That's not a side effect of loans. That's the design. Let me show you the real reason loans control your life and how to break free before they lock you in permanently. The first thing you need to understand is that loans don't just buy you things, they buy your future time. And most people don't realize they've made that trade until it's too late. Here's how it works. You want a car. It costs $30,000. You don't have $30,000, so you take out a loan. $500 a month for 6 years. Seems reasonable, right? You get the car now and you pay for it over time. But here's what really just happened. You didn't borrow $30,000, you borrowed 6 years of your life. Because now, for the next 72 months, you have to earn at least $500 every single month, no matter what. You can't take a pay cut. You can't switch to a lower paying job you'd actually enjoy. You can't take 3 months off to travel or recover or figure out your next move. You have to work every month for 6 years, whether you want to or not. That $500 payment isn't just a bill, it's a chain. And the more loans you take on, the heavier the chain gets. Now add a mortgage, $1,800 a month. Student loans, $400 a month. Credit cards, $200 a month. Suddenly, you need to earn $2,900 every month just to cover debt. That's $34,800 a year before you've bought a single meal, paid a single utility bill, or put gas in that car you're still paying off. And here's the trap. That $34,800 becomes your floor, the absolute minimum you need to survive, which means any job that pays less than that is off the table. Any career change that requires a temporary pay cut? Impossible. Any dream that doesn't immediately generate $35,000 a year? Not even worth considering. Your loans just made all your decisions for you, and most people don't even realize it's happening because the control is invisible. It doesn't feel like you're being controlled. It just feels like you're being responsible. But here's the difference. Responsibility is choosing to work because you want to build something. Control is having to work because you have no other option. And loans turn the former into the latter without you even noticing. The second reason loans control your life is because they don't just lock you into working. They lock you into working now, at your current earning level, whether you're ready or not. Let me explain with a story. Meet Daniel. He's 24, just graduated, landed his first real job making $50,000 a year. Not bad. He's excited. He's finally got money. So he does what everyone around him is doing. He finances a car, $400 a month. He gets an apartment, $1,200 a month. He buys furniture on credit, $150 a month. He gets a nice wardrobe for work, another $100 a month on a credit card. Within 6 months, Daniel's monthly obligations are $1,850 before food, before utilities, before anything fun. He's locked in. Now here's what Daniel doesn't realize. He just capped his potential. Because in 5 years, Daniel might want to start a business, but starting a business means no income for the first 6 months, maybe longer. Can he afford that? No, because he's got $1,850 in monthly payments. In 3 years, Daniel might realize he hates his industry and wants to retrain for something else. But retraining means lower income while he builds new skills. Can he do it? No, same reason. Daniel might meet someone and want to move across the country for love, but moving means quitting his job, finding a new one, maybe taking a temporary pay cut. Can he take that risk? Not a chance. Every loan Daniel took was sold to him as giving him freedom. The freedom to have a nice car now, a nice apartment now, nice things now. But what he actually bought was a cage. A $1,850 per month cage that'll keep him exactly where he is for years. And the worst part? He won't even blame the loans. He'll blame himself. He'll think, I guess I'm just not brave enough to start that business. I guess I'm not ready to make a big change. But it's not about bravery. It's about math. You can't be brave when you're chained to $1,850 in monthly payments. Loans made the decision for him. He just thinks it was his choice. The third reason loans control your life is because they shift the power dynamic in every negotiation you'll ever have. Think about it. When you have no debt, walking away is easy. Your boss refuses to give you a raise, you can leave. Your landlord raises the rent unreasonably, you can move. A client disrespects you, you can fire them. But when you have loans, walking away becomes terrifying. Because walking away might mean missing a payment. And missing a payment means penalties, damaged credit, collections, spiraling consequences. So you don't walk away. You stay. You accept the bad deal. You tolerate the disrespect. You swallow your frustration and keep going because you don't have a choice. And the person on the other side of the table knows it. Your boss knows you have a mortgage. They know you can't just quit. So when you ask for a raise, they lowball you. Because what are you going to do? Leave? Not with those monthly payments. Your landlord knows you're locked into a car payment and student loans. They know moving is expensive and risky. So they raise your rent and you pay it. Because what's your alternative? The loans didn't just take your money, they took your leverage. And without leverage, you lose every negotiation. You become a person who has to say yes, even when you want to say no. And that's not living. That's surviving at someone else's mercy. So here's the question. If loans are this controlling, this limiting, this dangerous, why does everyone have them? Why is debt normalized, even celebrated? Because we've been taught to confuse access with affordability. We've been sold the idea that if you can make the monthly payment, you can afford it. But that's not true. Affording something means you can buy it without sacrificing your future freedom. If you can make the $500 car payment, but it means you can't quit your job, you can't afford the car. If you can make the $1,800 mortgage payment, but it means you can't take a risk on a new career, you can't afford the house. Affordability isn't about monthly payments. It's about opportunity cost. What are you giving up to make that payment? And for most people, the answer is everything. They're giving up flexibility, options, peace of mind, and the ability to change course when life changes. But banks don't teach you that. Advertisers don't teach you that. They teach you to ask one question. Can I make the monthly payment? And as long as the answer is yes, they've got you. The fourth reason loans control your life is because they create a treadmill you can never step off. Here's how the cycle works. You take out loans to afford a lifestyle. The loans require monthly payments. The payments require a steady income. The steady income requires a full-time job. The full-time job requires you to stay in the same city, the same industry, the same routine. And because you're locked into that routine, you start to feel burned out. So what do? You treat yourself. A vacation on credit, a new gadget, a nicer apartment, more loans, which require higher payments, which require more income, which require more work. And now you're even more locked in than before. This is the debt treadmill. The more you run, the faster it goes, and the harder it becomes to jump off. And here's the cruelest part. The system is designed to keep you on it, because a person with debt is a profitable person. Every month you're paying interest. Every month you're transferring wealth from your future self to a bank. And as long as you stay on the treadmill, that transfer never stops. But a person without debt, they're dangerous. They can quit. They can walk away. They can say no. They can take risks. They're not predictable. They're not controllable. And that makes them worthless to the system that profits from your payments. So the system encourages debt. Buy now, pay later, 0% financing, low monthly payments. It's all designed to get you on the treadmill and keep you there. And the longer you stay, the harder it is to leave. So how do you get off? How do you break free from the control loans have over your life? It starts with a shift in how you think about debt. Here's the new rule. If it doesn't make you money or save you money, don't borrow for it. A car loan? Only if you need the car to earn income and you've calculated that the income it generates exceeds the cost of the loan. A mortgage? Only if the payment is low enough that you could still cover it with a part-time job, or if you're house hacking and renting out part of it. Student loans? Only if the degree leads to a career with a clear, significant income increase that justifies the debt. Everything else, furniture, vacations, gadgets, clothes, if it's not generating income or drastically reducing expenses, you save for it or you don't buy it. This rule will feel extreme, it'll feel restrictive, but here's what it actually is. It's freedom, because every loan you don't take is a chain you don't wear. Every payment you avoid is a choice you get to keep. And here's the second part. If you already have loans, attack them like your life depends on it, because it does. Not your physical life, but your freedom, your ability to choose, your ability to pivot when you need to. List every loan you have, smallest to largest. Pay minimums on everything except the smallest one. Throw every extra dollar at that smallest loan until it's gone. Then move to the next one. This is the debt snowball, and it works not because it's mathematically optimal, but because it gives you psychological wins. Every loan you eliminate is a chain you break, and every chain you break makes the next one easier. Step 3. Build a gap between your income and your expenses. This is the most important step because it's the gap that gives you options. If you earn $4,000 a month and spend $3,900, you're trapped. One bad month and you're underwater. But if you earn $4,000 and spend $2,500, you've got $1,500 of breathing room. That's the space where freedom lives. You can take a pay cut to switch careers. You can walk away from a bad job. You can survive a few months without income if you need to. The gap is your insurance policy against life. And the wider the gap, the more control you have over your own decisions. Most people try to grow the gap by earning more, and that's fine, but it's slower and less reliable than the other option, spending less. Cut the subscriptions you don't use, cook at home, drive a cheaper car, move to a smaller place. Every dollar you cut from your expenses is a dollar that buys back your freedom. And here's the beautiful part. Once you've eliminated your loans and built a gap, something shifts. You stop living in reaction mode. You stop making decisions based on fear. You start making decisions based on what you actually want. Your boss disrespects you, you leave. Not because you're reckless, but because you can. You want to try a new career? You do it because you've got 6 months of expenses saved and no debt to service. You want to move across the country, start a business, take a year off to travel? You can, because you're not controlled anymore. And that feeling, that ability to say yes to what you want and no to what you don't, that's what wealth actually is. It's not about having a lot of money. It's about having control over your time and your choices. And loans are the opposite of that. They're the theft of control, disguised as opportunity. Here's the final truth. The real reason loans control your life isn't because they cost money. It's because they cost time.
Every loan is a claim on your future, a promise that for the next however many months or years, you will work, you will earn, you will pay. Whether you want to or not, whether it makes you happy or not, whether it's what's best for you or not. And the more claims you let pile up, the less of your future actually belongs to you. So if you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Before you sign for a loan, any loan, ask yourself, am I buying something that will make my life better? Or am I selling my future freedom for something I want right now? Because once you sign, the decision is made. And for the next several years, that loan will make decisions for you. Where you work, where you live, what risks you can take, what dreams you can chase. It'll control your life in ways you won't even notice until you try to break free and realize you can't. So choose carefully, because the real cost of a loan isn't the interest rate. It's the life you could have lived if you weren't chained to the payments. If this video made you think differently about debt, give it a like and tell me in the comments what's one loan you wish you'd never taken, or what's one you're working to pay off right now. Let's keep each other accountable. Thanks for watching.